Hello everyone, this is Reese, and welcome to my tour of the city of Storm's End. This is my post-beta Minecraft world, and also the server that I'm running for my friends at the moment, and hopefully for other folks later. As you can see in the direction I'm facing now, that is the beginning of the actual city of Storm's End. The tower you see in the distance, that's one of the towers I was taking overhead screenshots of my building projects from. The foundations you see over there are going to be residential. The wall and guard post you see in the distance, just past that is a complete castle that still needs to be decorated and will be the subject of a future tour. Today, on the other hand, I am giving you a tour of Southbridge. Originally it started as just a farming district for the city, but the way I've built it, I feel it's more appropriate to actually be a separate village. It just happens to be nearby. It is the main agricultural supply center for the city. It's where all the food supplies and animal supplies for players are going to be produced. It also has its own fairly large, for a village, population. It's got maybe a dozen houses total. I'm trying to make stuff realistically, but I think still there's going to be some less than 1-to-1 ratio construction. Anyway, on with the tour. First of all, you see, this is the unfinished train station in Storm's End. This will lead to the finished train station in Southbridge. And on we go. I've kind of got a very simple design outside of the city. Inside the city, it's going to be a much more complex set of arches and stone. Right here, it's just wood supports, fencing, and then the track itself. Here we are, stopping in the station. Welcome to the Southbridge train station. Just completely jumped over the ticket gate, but that's okay. As you can see, we have a ticket booth of sorts back here. Seating while you're waiting for your train, which isn't altogether accurate, but it's how it's going to be, since each player brings their own train. Let's go to the beginning of the district first. We're going to just zoom on past the cattle farm. I'll talk about that later. We're actually going to take a step out of Southbridge to visit our first location. Well, technically it is a part of Southbridge. Its entrance is in the small little dead space between the city and the village. And this is the tree farm. Going with the classics of other games, I'm just calling it a forester's hut. Sort of cut a path through here before I downloaded the server map to single player for this video. Oh well, I knocked a torch off the wall. That sucks. I'll put it back up later. Nope. Here you have the main room of the forester's hut. He's got his supplies, his crafting table. This also kind of doubles as his kitchen and his heat. You have table, chairs, and like all the houses in this district, you're going to see loft bedrooms. Got some shelving, got a bed, got some storage. As you'll see through my tour, each of these houses is a little different. Let me go ahead and hit the hay and make it daytime for y'all. When I built each house, I didn't stick with any form factor. They're not all the same width, height. Well, they're mostly the same height, but they're not the same length and width. Each house is supposed to be at least somewhat unique. I'm not building a giant subdivision here. I'm not trying to make everything look cookie cutter. I'm trying to give a realistic look to my map. At least as realistic as you can get within Minecraft. I tend to operate in units of 3, 5, and 7 because it gives you good centered middle points. This is the pig farm. Have a gate here to get in. I believe there's also a gate over there. Animals tend to cluster around gates, which sucks. Since they're pigs, I supplied them a few shallow ponds. Can't really create a mud pit in Minecraft, so I settled for a pond. And as you can see with my texture pack, pigs are quite filthy in this version. This house is not quite as finished as I'd like it to have been before this tour, but all these bins are storing stuff I've been using for building this section. It's got a small little compact loft apartment. Probably what I'll do downstairs once I pull the bins and storage out is I'll make it into a barn workshop of sorts and make it look like the person who owns the farm just lives up top. Also part of this farm is the chicken coop. Due to some of the glitches in multiplayer, animals tend to climb fences. So originally I had a gate here and here for getting in and out, but once the chickens kept escaping, I just ended up making a gate up here. They can't climb the ladder, so I can get in and out without too much trouble. As you may have seen on my YouTube channel, I actually have a nice little funny clip of me holding a piece of wheat out and being chased by all the chickens in the coop. I thought it was quite hilarious and posted it, and I got a few interesting reactions from it. Here you have the cattle and wheat farm. This is one single farm with one house ruling it. Eventually I may actually put in some barns, but for now I'm quite happy with the way it looks. Again, you have a little loft bedroom. This one's quite a bit smaller than some of the others due to how long the house is, but relatively short. Kitchen, shelves, table, desk, more shelves, and that's this one. Got a field full of cows. This is the main food source for the players operating in Storm's End. They've got a little pond that's actually ran down from the pig farm, and I breed them quite quickly. I will kill about half the herd at a time, harvest the steak, and then wait a day or two and repopulate them. I'll spend 2 or 3 days repopulating before another harvest. Here to the right you have the warehouse district of this village of Southbridge. These houses are all very similar, though slightly different. You've got a really small kitchen, heater unit, kitchen table, lots of shelves, and a not so safe loft bedroom. This is for the dock workers. The idea is that the train takes goods from here to the city, but that boats take goods from here to anywhere else in the known world, which is not very expansive yet. So you can see very slight differences between the two. This one had a window. That's about it for the differences. This is one of the buildings I was quite proud of. This is the Southbridge warehouse and dock office. Just kind of a bunch of crates. This isn't organized to actually be a full warehouse. The basement still needs some construction, and it also has, this will be covered up later, this is my cobblestone quarry for this area. It was originally a small chasm. Now it's well on its way to being a perfect rectangle. This is just where I am gathering extra cobblestone instead of pulling it from my mining complex in Storm's End. Oh, can't forget the upstairs. This is where the dock manager lives. This is his sort of apartment. So you've got shelves, counter space. As I've showed you all these houses, I've used the furnaces rather than building a fireplace. The idea is this is their heat source, and the top of it is their cooking source and probably also a baking source if you consider the top hole. So they're using a furnace more like an oven, but since they don't supply blocks for everything in Minecraft, you got to be creative. It's got a fairly large kitchen table and communal space here because, you know, at times I imagine he'll have all the dock workers or potential clients up over. Here's his bedroom. Got some overhead shelves, a little more storage space than everyone else. Still a full-size bed. I just used 2 beds side by side for full size. It gives the illusion. And here you have a well. As I get to some of the other houses, you'll notice most houses don't have any form of water storage in the house itself. But quite a few of them will have like just a little bin to put a bucket full of water in so they can gather water once during the day. I didn't give a tour of that house, but it's pretty much the same as this one with just a little bit of a spacing difference. We're going to the place that Southbridge is going to be named for, but not yet. I'm going to build a bridge from here to all the way over there with a support column on the land there in the center. This will be, in the long run, it's actually going to be the main entrance to Storm's End. The idea is I'm building this village and the city separate. Once they're both complete, it's kind of going to be like fast forward 30 years down the road. The city's expanded. The little bit of dead space between the village and the city will be full of peasants' hovels. And there'll be a new outer wall protecting Southbridge, which will then be just a district, not its own village, from whatever enemies may lie outside. Here's the Sheepherders Farmhouse. They've got a fairly wealthy setup. You know, he's got a bedroom with a desk for his office work because he has the fabled blue sheep. Lapis is fairly uncommon, and I rather use it for blocks because they make a really cool effect for fountains and the like with my texture pack. So I breed blue sheep rather than dye the wool. You dye a sheep and then every offspring it has will probably be blue unless you breed it with a white sheep, then it's either or. Here's just some houses. These are just either farm workers or merchants, traders, people who want to live outside the city. You have the loft set up. These don't have safety rails. I figure this is an alternate post-medieval time period, is the way I'm describing it. You know, instead of having an industrial revolution or the Renaissance, they discovered magic, redstone, and built technology around that. Here's the pumpkin farm and watermelon farm. Their bedroom. The farm itself. As most people who play Minecraft know, you have to have water within like 3 or 4 blocks of farmland for it to stay farmland. Fortunately, every time a melon grows, it's going to destroy the farmland. But you only need the farmland for the sapling. The melons themselves can grow on any surface. This is an alternate food source. Actually, the main reason to have this later on is potion ingredients. The melons can be combined with gold or gold nuggets, I forget which, to create a glistening melon, which is the main ingredient for health potions. Another just house. This isn't a farmhouse or anything specific. They've got some bins, bedroom. And as you notice, everyone's got a little bit different of a design. These folks have some storage for water. Here you will see my sugarcane / reed farm, depending on what you want to call it. I have this much reed because I am furnishing the castle with a library. Actually, 2 libraries. The king or duke or whatever will have his own private library, and then there'll be a larger one for the nobles and such. The that's part of the reason I'm not ready to tour the library and castle yet, is I have to harvest this field a dozen times over before I'll have enough books. Here's the Reed Farmer's house. It's fireplace or furnace, storage, kitchen, living room / dining, bedroom. I like this better than most of the ones I've made. Let's go ahead and sleep and make it daytime again. I may not have mentioned this in any of my videos. I have mentioned it on my website, but this server is being completely made without cheats. Online, I am running a bucket server, but the only plugin I'm running is a creeper and TNT control mod. Basically, they explode. They'll still kill you. They won't damage the buildings. I don't want constant repairs from creeper attacks getting into consuming time as far as having to rebuild instead of build new things. Well, that actually pretty much covers the tour of my farming district. Kind of thought it would take longer. Oh well. Well, I guess I can show off a few other things. This is the sewer in construction. It's not finished. Basically, I want to get it all laid out, and then I'll replace all the dirt with cobble. I'll leave smooth stone where it's at, kind of create a patchwork like it's been repaired before look. There will be water in this center trough. The idea behind this sewer is a little different than the traditional thoughts. Originally, I wanted to have this empty into the sea, but that was not available because I built the whole thing foolishly under sea level. This is 4 or 5 blocks below ground level for most of the city of Storm's End. So my idea is, well, hey, this is not the real world. This is this magical fictional place. It's a little bit more developed than medieval Europe, so they don't have indoor plumbing yet, but they do have the sewer system, so that when people empty their chamber pots or whatever in the street gutters, the next rainstorm washes it into the sewer. And since it's below sea level, there's actually openings into the ocean that will empty seawater into the sewers. So my thought is, they've created some sort of really deep pit right here. So all the sewer water drains into this pit. What they don't know, and I'm basing on modern real-life science, is basically the water goes down there, stuff gets trapped, the water gets filtered through the dirt and sediment and goes back into the aquifers for the region. So they've unintentionally created a very green and self-sustaining, renewable sewer system. Far better than what we have, but still with a little bit of fictional fantasy fun to it. I'm gonna give one last little tour here. I'm going to show off my mining complex. So you can see we're back in Storm's End, and there's the first glimpse of the castle anyone other than the few people I've invited to a live stream have seen. While it's basically finished, I've still got some ideas to spice up the outside, and nothing interior-wise has been decorated. I've been stuck on getting enough books to finish the place. But I would like to show you my mining complex. This is where all the stone to build Storm's End, and about half the stone came for Southbridge. So you can see you have 5x5 columns separated by 5x5 tunnels. Kind of based it off real life salt mines. I might actually take out every other column to create a more open feel. And I'm actually going to dig right through the column so that I don't miss any diamond or ores that may actually be in the column. This is where I started the map. My first, I guess, storage room, bunker, safe place to be from the monsters was started up here. This is just a little natural cave in the original map on an island across from the castle. I started the cave, I ended up squaring it out. This was the rough shape of it, but I kind of took it into more right angles. Built all my storage bins, and then I just dug down. Like, the deepest the cave got was about here. And then after that, I just dug straight down and out in this weird pattern for some reason. I think my original plan was to go ahead and dig it out the other direction too, make it symmetrical, and then build some sort of temple or something in here. But really, it's just, I needed a lot of stone. I ran into a lot of coal and iron. It was quick, relatively speaking, easy, and it got me all the supplies I needed for building the first story or two of that castle. On that note, I'm going to end this tour right here, because next time this is where I'm going to pick up and do the tour of the castle once I have it finished. I hope you've enjoyed this. I will be posting future videos, and once I get a following and enough people interested, I'm going to start having a build night that I host via a live stream so that people can watch the process, see the building, hear the banter between various players playing. Anyway, I hope you've had a good time. We'll see you next time.